today I'm going to make up some cranberry juice. Now I have made it in the past the easy way. Today I'm going to try the more long and involved, and I think it'll give me a better result in the end, a more concentrated juice. And it requires 4 of the bags cranberries, fresh cranberries. I've got 5, so I'm going to make it a little bit more concentrated, a little stronger. I bought every last bag they had in the store. And I'll probably repeat this again at Christmas time, or maybe even again in a few days, who knows. But I'm trying to make 7 quarts of concentrated cranberry juice with no sugar added. So the easy method that I used in the past, where I just put the berries in a mason jar and added hot water to them and then water bath canned it, that you do have to add sugar, but this method you don't. So I've got 4 quarts of water on the stove to boil right now. I'm going to wash all my berries, and then when this is boiled, I'm going to drop all the berries in until they split and let them boil for about 10 minutes. Okay, I've got my berries all washed, and I'm still just waiting for my water to come to a boil before I put them in. So I'm going to run these through one time, and then I'm going to strain them and get all the juice out, and that should be fairly concentrated juice at that point. And I'm not going to throw them away at that point. I've got 4 quarts in here. Then I'm going to add another 2 to 3 quarts and put them through a second time. Now, the recipe that I heard suggested putting 2 quarts and putting them through one time, and then 1 quart, and then putting them through a third time. But I think I'm just going to do 2 times, and I'm going to try and get 7 quarts out of this. Now, the other method that I've used in the past was much easier. The thing that I didn't like about it was not so much that it made a less concentrated juice, although that's also not something I would prefer, but it is the fact that these things float. So when you're putting the fresh berries in just like that, and you fill up the thing with water, and you think everything's all nice and full, but by the time it gets processed, the berries are cooked at that point, and then you find that you have a gap that was filled at one time, but all the air in the berries pulled all that water into the berries, and there was probably a good half pint of water that was absorbed into the berries and missing from the quart jar. I would rather have the full jar full of juice. So yes, this is a little more time consuming, and probably better because I don't have to strain the berries afterwards. I'm straining them now. Okay, so that's the process I'm going through at this point. Okay, well, my water has finally come to a boil, and I'm going to very gingerly put all these cranberries in this pot. Not bad. I think I lost, what, 1? Okay, and more here. Good. So I'm going to let these all cook until they split, and then let them simmer for about 10 minutes. Okay, these have boiled for even a little longer than 10 minutes, and because I plan to continue to boil them in another... Okay, these have boiled for even a little longer than 10 minutes, and because I plan to continue to boil them in another 2 quarts of water, rather than straining them, I'm just going to put them directly into, well, I'm going to strain them this way. And then I will strain the liquid totally. But I'm going to put them directly into my other 3 quarts of water, actually. So hopefully I'll get most of the berries out this way. And I'm going to turn the heat off under these ones. And then I'm going to strain the rest of these berries out and just have the juice here, as you can see, while it continues to take all the goodness out of the berries in the second pot. That should make this job a lot easier now, just to strain this. Should end up with a lot less issue. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is ladle this juice into my 1 gallon jar, and I'm going to strain out any of the berries. I'm not going to can this up yet because I want to put the two liquids together so that one isn't really weak and the other one really strong. And I'm not picking up the whole pot just because it is extremely heavy and hot. So I'm just going to take my time. And because I do have most of the berries out, it shouldn't be all that difficult to strain. There's my cranberry juice. Looks lovely. Pretty much strained. I'm going to put this into the other pot again to let it continue to take all the goodness out of this cranberry before we strain it again. So we're going to let this boil, and it doesn't seem to be quite as strong as that, but then again it has not boiled for quite as long. So I'm going to wash out that pot. Now I need one container where I could mix everything up in so that I have one blend. And I'm hoping I could fit it all in that pot. Okay, and I'm going to strain this a second time now. I don't have some cheesecloths, so I'm going to just use a coffee filter. But I think that I'm going to be okay here. And I have a few coffee filters if this one gets clogged. It seems to be doing a good job. And when this is done, then we could strain out the second batch. Okay, slowing down. I'm beginning to think this pot will be big enough to take it all, so hopefully it will. Okay, so I'm going to continue to strain this a second time, and that should be it, and then we can get to work on straining the second batch. Okay, the first batch is done and filtered. I'm going to see if I can show you that. There it is, and looking good. Now it's still quite hot, and we don't really want to heat it up anymore. We do not want this to gel. We want to leave it as a juice, and it's hot enough. So I'm going to put it back out of the way, and I'm going to work on the second batch now. A bowl should do it, yes. Okay. So once again, we're going to try to strain what's left of these berries out of the water. Okay, again, I've got most of the berries out of the way. I'm going to put the juice back in there and allow this to continue to drain. Should get more juice out of this. Okay, and we'll put that aside and let it strain while we filter this batch. Put it through the first filter. Now it isn't quite as rich colored as the first batch, but it's pretty close. But I still want to blend the two together. Lots of seeds in there. Okay, so now I'm going to add that to this mixture. And we want to wash this out so we can put this through a second filter. But meanwhile, let's see if we can get anything more out of here. I'm going to let that sit and drain. It probably will not go in with this batch, but perhaps we'll see what I manage to get out of that. I don't have a bag to strain it in and get out all the juices, but I think I've done okay. This should now go through the second straining. Looks like we've got a nice batch and it's all clean. Let's see what we can get from this one. Even though this is a lot more work, I think I prefer the end result that I'm going to get from this. It looks like a much more concentrated drink, and it looks like it's ready. I don't have to wait 6 to 8 weeks for it to mature. And of course I can add as much sweetness as I want as I'm drinking it, or not at all. Maybe just mix it up with a bit of ginger ale and that makes it sweet enough. Okay. Now I'm going to change that filter again. I have no qualms changing filters a number of times here, but I want to squeeze out as much of the juice. Okay, and what I wanted to make sure to do was to blend this thoroughly so that it was one consistency. I've got all my jars ready. And this looks wonderful. Okay, let's get her full. Okay, so I'm going to put a lid on these. I'm going to seal them up. I'm going to water bath can them for 10 minutes.